My name is Charlotte Rotterdam, and I have a few hats at Naropa. I'm the director of the Center for the Advancement of Contemplative Education, and I also teach at Naropa. I teach at the undergraduate level, I teach in the graduate religious studies department, and also over in the graduate school of psychology. There's this deep commitment to human brilliance. How we do that, how we nurture that, how we cultivate that, that is an open question. So that keeps Naropa fresh. It's an ongoing living question, what contemplative means, what contemplative practice means, what contemplative education means. However, some key pieces. Contemplative practice is about waking up. It's about being aware, it's about being present. It's about waking up our sense perceptions, becoming aware of our body, becoming aware of the spaces we're in, becoming aware of others in the spaces with us. So contemplative practice, while on one hand it's very personal, it's actually always about others. And so that higher education is really a kind of stepping into who am I in this lifetime? What is that unique brilliance of my being that wants to come to the fore and that I can offer in this precious human life? Like I say in my own classes, I say, this class is 3 hours a week. The rest of the week, all those other hours, that's lab time. And one thing that's so beautiful, and I've found in a Naropa classroom, is that the way students interact with each other. So we sit in a circle, right? And I often say, the reason we sit in a circle is because what we're creating is this empty space in between. None of us knows what's in the middle. So we each bring something. And so I'm bringing what I've maybe brought many times before, trying to bring it in a fresh way. But how it's going to land, what it's going to jive with in terms of what everyone else brings is completely new each time. One of my personal heart projects that we started maybe 5 years ago is the Compassion Initiative, and thought, what if we create some kind of training or program that could be more widely accessible to people who might not be able to come to a full educational journey at Naropa. So we created an 8-week public training program called Welcome, Mindful Compassion Training, which we've offered in person, online, as an evergreen course. And there's also a follow-up course called Engage, which is about compassion, sort of engaged compassion, dealing with larger social issues. I feel like Naropa students care so deeply. They're not idle bystanders. They're not neutral. And that, I think, they take onto the road, whatever they're doing. If they're a therapist working one-on-one with someone, how can I show up for you in this moment? If they're out there making films or doing creative work, how can this brilliance of my creative project be an offering to others? I feel like nobody shows up here by accident. There's awareness in their choice to be here, and in that create something new for all of us. And finally, I would say what keeps me here is the people who come through here. And there's some commitment that I find in everyone, which is also a personal commitment to a life of wakefulness, a life of compassion, a life of meaning. I'm always inspired by the people I come in contact with, whether that's in the classroom or in a meeting. There's something about Naropa that's both very tender and very radiant and precious at the same time. There's this particular exquisite beauty in those who find their way to it in whatever form and what it has to offer. And so my hope is that that can continue to be held and maintained and cultivated and spread and offered to everyone whom it can benefit.